video is one of a series of discussions based on Jordan Peterson's book, Beyond Order. Today we look at the issue of honesty, or as Peterson says, not hiding things in the fog. In particular, we spend some time looking at why honesty, even in intimate relationships, is difficult to come by in China. I have posted timestamps below if you wish to locate anything specific. I do hope you enjoy the view while considering these important ideas for our lives. Hello.
How are you today?
Not bad.
Yeah, okay. So we finished this chapter 3.
Yeah.
And I love this chapter a lot.
Yeah.
Because also I've heard Peterson always talking about this third chapter to all of his audience, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, always say, oh, look at this chapter talking about don't stay in fog, you know.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So I just think also he think it's very important about this third chapter, though it's a very short one compared to other chapters. But I think the importance of this chapter is very high in Peterson's mind. So do you mind to give us a summary about it and comment a little bit?
Okay. So what I'm noticing about Peterson is that his chapter titles are pretty much summaries. And so if you want the shortest, briefest explanation of what he's talking about, you just read the chapter title. There's no suggestion. It's all very explicit. Do not hide unwanted things in the fog. And then he just talks about that. And he tells you what he means by that. So when he says do not hide unwanted things, what are the unwanted things? In his discussion, the unwanted things are the passions we have, or the anti-passions. So that means our loves and our hates. Even our loves can be unwanted things, and our hates are typically more unwanted. So hiding emotions, basically. He's saying do not hide your emotions. He's calling those the unwanted things. To Peterson, hiding emotions is basically lying. It's not telling the truth. And he says it can be done indirectly. Like you can have a belief or a feeling one way, but you act another. Or you can have a belief or feeling about one thing and you say another. And it doesn't... This is, people going to church will say that's... Some Christians are that way. They profess to be Christians, but they act another way. And we call that hypocrisy. That's a judgment. But it's not always like that. It's not like you're acting some moral way, but then actually in your heart you're being immoral. It's just... You're not brave to say what you really feel about a situation. And he's saying, don't do that. So he gives a couple of simple examples. One example is of a man whose wife served soup and sandwiches every lunch for 30 years. And the wife always put the sandwiches on these little plates, and apparently, it bothered the man, but he didn't say anything about it for like 30 years or something, and suddenly he just explodes and says, I'm tired of these damn plates, and Peterson uses that as an example to say, why didn't he say something about that? Like 30 years of irritation over these small plates. So it's not necessarily about hypocrisy, it's more just about telling the truth. And then when you tell the truth, you're able to have better relations and basically a better life. He's saying life will be good. So, don't hide unwanted things, that's the feelings, in the fog. What's the fog? And he says the fog is basically whatever we use to hide our emotions. In our culture, we call it a smoke screen. Peterson calls this a performative contradiction. Your actions contradict your true feelings. And it's not necessarily evil or sinister. It's just the constant drip, drip, drip of not being true can have a cumulative effect on people. And so his solution is reveal yourself. And he doesn't say that that's a simple process. That might be very scary. Revealing ourselves. People can be malicious. People can be unkind. People can be unwilling to accept who we are. But he says do it anyway. Choose to trust that even though people are like that, even though maybe they don't give us a whole lot of reason to trust anyway. Mm-hmm. And show that feeling. Mm-hmm. And then he says risk, take chances, fail, try again. Actually, I'll quote him exactly on page 103. He says, if you make what you want clear and commit yourself to its pursuit, you may fail. But if you do not make what you want clear, then you will certainly fail. You cannot hit a target that you refuse to see. You cannot hit a target if you don't take aim. And he says, success often means trying, falling short, re-aiming, trying again, falling short, and this may be repeated many times till you want to vomit. But sometimes, in the end, you learn through all this failure that maybe you were aiming in the wrong direction. Maybe you need to aim in a different direction. And that would be better. And not because it's easier or because you're avoiding something, but just because you've learned through life that what you seek can't be found where you're looking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyway, that's my basic reply. You want to hear that now, or do you want to make some comments?
No.
Question?
You go ahead.
My basic reply is I agree with him technically, because I think this is a healthy procedure in life and should be applied sometimes. But I disagree with his attitude. And the attitude I get from Peterson, again, seems to be that he's aiming for an entirely ordered world. Mm-hmm. And I just think that's not the way it's going to be. You don't bring everything out of the fog. Mm-hmm. It's like Benjamin Franklin said, keep your eyes wide open before marriage and half shut afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's just things you need to overlook. And if one spouse, like if you pick everything, even the Bible says, don't listen to every word people say. You yourself know that you say things mm-hmm. that are not acceptable, you know? It's mm-hmm. like too picky. Madeleine L'Engle said, there's too much light. It's too bright for our eyes. We can't face all this clarity. Mm-hmm. I like my house. I like the nest feeling. There's dust on the shelves. There's things laying around. It's more comfortable. I don't want to, and that's a metaphor. I don't want to live in a office that's being inspected by somebody with white gloves all the time to make sure it's pure and clean, like my mother's dollhouse. Mm-hmm. Her living room was a dollhouse. You couldn't go sit in there unless you changed your clothes mm-hmm. to sit in that room. I don't want that. I want mm-hmm. my life to be a little bit messy and mm-hmm. a little bit not clear. But there are times mm-hmm. where there's an ugly unclarity. Mm-hmm. There's an ugly fog. It's like a menacing darkness, and it will spread and poison and swallow everything. Mm-hmm. And if a person doesn't confront that and mm-hmm. speak the truth and mm-hmm. be clear, then I agree with Peterson mm-hmm. that there are times for that. Mm-hmm. In this case, chaos is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. it would undermine life and value itself, and it is an enemy that should be destroyed. But otherwise, I think Peterson's absolute clarity, and it's reasonable for him to be that way. I mean, he's a counselor. He sees people all the time who have gotten into trouble because they've been swallowed up by chaos. But that's not every day for everything, for every little plate, you know? Yeah, that's my feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this chapter very much because I think when I'm young, I desire to know the answer clearly. But seems in our culture it's not valued, except you get a clear answer to math or physics. But if according to humanity, emotion or whatever, there is always this teaching, there is no right and wrong. Or seems like keeping the fork in Chinese culture means more sophisticated. If you always wanted to clarify something, especially about a feeling, about what right and wrong, or what you feel, it seems like people will tell you, oh, no need, like you seems too childish or something. So Peterson this way make me feel like after this long, lonely, journey, oh, there is some guy in Western, and he kind of also an intellectual authority in psychology. He believes that this clarity, clear, mind thinking. So then I just feel, oh, I so love these kind of words. I also feel the nature of desire for me to know clear about what I'm feeling now and what I want, what I desire, what I hate. But seems if you have this kind of emotion arising, your parents, your teacher, your these adults always say, "Oh, don't need to think about it. Try to be foggy. Life is foggy. If you try to clarify everything, you're gonna live a too calculate life. That means you are too narrow-minded. You are not smart enough." So seems all of this talking maybe will hit you back if you want to know clearly about yourself. So when read this chapter, one side I feel, oh, kind of finally you find someone thinking exactly the same as you and think it's necessary to keep your mind not foggy. But in the other aspect, I felt if you use this mind in China, you don't have the base to support this thinking. For example, just now you said, he also said, the first step is review yourself. You need to be brave to review yourself. But what if, when you review yourself as a child, and all of the people who surround you, the adults, will hit you back because you review yourself? They will think you're an idiot. And when you review yourself, you show the vulnerability to them. They will think, what? You show this to us? It's so ugly. You're hurting us. Using this guilty way to control you, to stop you to review yourself. So how you gonna do? I just feel, yesterday I listened to a famous psychologist in China. He is talking about this thing too. He said mostly in Chinese family, a kid, if say even a grown-up kid, an adult, talk to their parents, say, oh, when I'm little, you once hurt me by this or something. If they even dare say that, the parents will reject at all. They will say, what? I raised you up so carefully and devote myself to raise up you, and this is what you reward me? You are so ungrateful. like this kind of, and the parents will never listen, and they will go away, and they even left the table right away or something, show their anger. So they have no chance to review themselves, especially the negative aspect. If you say some praise word, oh, review myself, oh, you loved me when I'm a little, then the parents will be happy. So there is kind of only one way to review yourself. So if you not happy with the plate, keep in your side. How dare you review yourself, say you don't like the plate, especially after 20 years, 30 years. You are not happy with the plate? You'd better get used to it. So the wife will not listen too, because even he reviewed himself by not liking the plate, not liking you, the wife. The wife already felt hurt. So kind of even by reviewing, you hurt people. And everyone think this way. So how can a person who daily review herself or himself can get any support and can be freely review himself? He can't, unless he's a jerk, unless he don't care about people's feeling. So he has to see this negative emotion inside. Then how they digest it? They have to live in a foggy life. Otherwise, how can they live it through? Then they will have contradiction emotion inside all the way long. So that's not good taste. So they kind of invent this fog theory of better living, for most Chinese people. This is what I got. But I don't say Peterson's talking is not right, but I think what he talking is based on, there should be a base. The base is people have the similar thinking. People have the similar thinking as what he think. Then they will agree with him. But if you don't have this base, this ground, the theory gonna have no use at all. If I try to broadcast Peterson's theory in China, I think most people will think it's nonsense. Or most people will think, oh, it's a kind of a childish thing talking, want to make everything clear. That's too childish. So they will not listen. They will think it's not a wisdom of life, They will not listen. But I feel so pity because I agree with this. You at least need to be clear. Then if you want to choose foggy, you choose foggy. But at the first step, like he said, you need to review yourself. Make things clear.
Yeah.
So I agree with him, but I also feel sad that his theory can't be valued, in our culture, and people seems don't know this truth, actually.
The interesting thing is when you put it this way, suddenly I'm on the side of the man being angry about the plates.
Yeah.
Before, when I was doing my talking, I thought, why argue over plates, for goodness sake?
Yeah.
But if you put it in the way you just said it, I think he better damn well say something about those plates.
Yeah, he's not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
Maybe now is place.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it's about the shirt. He always should wear the shirt his wife's taste.
Yeah.
This kind of a small thing,
So can I ask just for clarity, because you use the example of the child mostly, and in our culture it's a little more acceptable that the adult will give direction to the child, and so it kind of confuses it a bit. But in a husband and wife situation, what's the guiding rule? So suppose the husband really doesn't like the plates, always finds them inconvenient. What should the husband do?
The good husband should neglect it because it's a small issue. It's just a plate.
And so what if the wife is annoyed with his shirt?
The wife what?
So first I asked you what if the husband is annoyed with the plate. You said the good husband will neglect it.
Yeah.
But what if the
wife
is annoyed with the way he dresses, with the shirt that he's wearing? What should happen?
So mostly the husband will dress according to wife's needs.
So some people are allowed to be out of the fog. Some people can show their feeling.
I think it's the one who has the most power in the family can show their feeling. So it's like this Chinese psychologist is saying, there is in the summer palace, it's Chinese palace for the king. There is only one man. There is only one person can review himself whenever he wants. And all the other men, they are all eunuchs. And all these women have no rights to. Their job is just pleasing the king. So every Chinese people, they have a king dream, want to be the king. Why? Because only the king have the freedom to review themselves, actually. So that's also applied to the family. Same thing. It's kind of it's the game of the throne, you know. It's the game of the power. So the one who rise up high and have the power one, he or she can express everything she wants or he wants. But others should obey to concede the feeling to according to the powerful one's needs. So I just think so. It's still a power system. You know, there is not intimacy system in family.
So the way I see this, like, did you have more you wanted to say, or?
Yeah, just one example. I always I have a little bit. I don't know if I should say it or not, because it's offend the Chinese government. But it's true. Like we talked before with my friends about this Mandela, the hero of this South Africa.
Oh, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. Also this Gandhi, who fight
Gandhi.
for Indian people.
Oh yeah.
So they all like fighting using the way like a
peaceful.
no violence.
And Martin Luther too.
Yeah, and but they got their way.
Yeah.
You know, they finally got their way, and they got support from their enemy.
Yeah.
The one who they fight for.
Yeah.
But we always have a joke. Say if Mandela use this peaceful way fighting China, what's he will get? He will get thrown into the prison and cut his leg or ear, or even, cut his throat. Then he can't talk.
Yeah.
So it's like you still have the base. Like we will say, praise, like let's do the Mandela's way. Let's don't do violence. But you need to see the base. Like the base is what's the enemy of him? I mean, I didn't want to praise high of Westerner or something because it's very sensitive topic in China. Seems if you say something goodness then of Westerner, then you kind of betray the country. But I still feel because they're still reasonable people, they would talk and argue about right and wrong. So if they see something, what Mandela raised up seems to make sense, seems reasonable, they will listen. So there is still a higher standard, up higher than their own standpoint. Like they have the situation, they represent whatever benefits. But they still have the higher value, like above that benefits thinking. But if I think if he ever dare fight in China, Even you see the one who won the Nobel Peace Prize,
Yeah.
the author in China, he was he was like a kind of, he not arrested, but his home was surrounded by police all day and night, all the time, and he even can't go abroad to take the prize of the Nobel Peace Prize. It's empty. He can't go there, and he died from the liver cancer, and it's sad he didn't get treated well. He even can't get medical treatment. So it's kind of like what he is. He even have no one gun. He just a writer.
Yeah.
So isn't he fight using peaceful way?
Yeah.
He using writing way, but he still, he was prosecuted and have no voice at all. Not lots of Chinese people know him because no media reports. It's kind of like being deleted his life totally. So I mean, when you want to have this kind of a thing, for example, this clear, not foggy or whatever, this small thing, I think still need the base. The base is the people, like what you are fighting with, the people who they look like, or what you are revealing yourself to, what the people look like. If you're revealing to someone, just like Jesus said, if you throw the pearls to the pig will just not cherish it. And so I just think this is not universal rule. I just like this rule, but I just feel so sad. It can't apply universal way.
Well, what's the option if you don't?
If you don't, so you have to live in a foggy way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that fog
And this, that's why I'm just struggling all my life. Just want to go out of that place.
Isn't that the dark, menacing, great unclarity that I'm talking about? That's the one that really needs to be fought with?
Say it again.
Well, because originally I said I don't think we need to be clear about everything, but sometimes there's a great, dark, menacing unclarity that wants to swallow everything.
Yeah.
And then that needs to be fought.
And
Definitely.
I think this foggy thing will get bigger and bigger. Yeah. It's what dominant this place.
So use the example.
Unless, until it's eaten people. Yeah. I think you see so many kids now suicide or something. It more and more rates for kids suicide. So what this is. Yeah. And more people get depression. And this is a signal of this foggy too much, it's eating people's life. Yeah, so either you choose to fight with it and you being endured by it, or you be one of them. It's like just this Matrix movie. Either you become the program people, the dark, black people, or tend to be them, or you choose another way to fight with it. But recently, I just see the foggy thing in China become bigger and bigger. I don't know, even if I do have this gut to fight with.
So let me ask you a different question. You've lived in the West for a while now. Suppose your friend, let's use the example of my son, and he's going to a school. And this school just happens to be the kind of school where if you are a student there, the only way to have any status or reputation is to be a sports star. And you have to be really capable, really physical. And if you aren't interested in sports, you're a nobody. You talk about something and they just say, never mind, that's not important. Or you work on art. Oh, that's really? You spend time doing that? Just always feel the pressure. You're being pressed down because you're not being the way everyone else is. What is the advice you're going to give to my son?
In Canada, I just think you change the school.
Okay.
But in China, for example, it like maybe you use like sports as the example. But in China, it's like in the school, and if you're not good at math, you're stupid kids.
Yeah.
So even the headmaster principal were on the meeting to all the parents, like thousands of parents. He is sitting on the stage. He would say, in my school, whoever math is not good, who is stupid.
Yeah.
Openly.
Yeah.
So and the teacher would throw out of the kids' bags, out of the classroom if they got the lowest score.
Yeah.
So that's everywhere. So how you can fight?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I feel in Canada, I think other school is not this way. Change the school.
Yeah.
But in China, every school is this way. So the only way for you is go to the outside of school, this kind of a camp or I don't know, training place to enhance your math.
Yeah. Okay, so I hear your criticism, and I also hear how ugly that kind of situation is, where if you are not good at math, you're stupid. But I just want to press it a little bit further. Suppose my son can't go to a different school. Now what advice do you give him?
I will choose let my kids to go to outside of school and take class. Because I choose to fight with the school. I got defeated. And my kids got mistreated. Because when I try to talk with the teacher, you should not have been this way. Not about math, about other thing. Because my kids is good at math, so that one is good. But other parents, if they have any kind of thing, want to fight with the math, so the kids will be pushed more. Oh, you have this kind of a parents, of course, you are this way. Will be looked up and down by the parents, by the teacher. And other kids will laugh at you. I can't be that for my kids.
I see.
I don't think I don't say you, but lots of parents think they can fight. Like my family, at first we think there should be a place to talk about right and wrong. It should be reasonable. So we go to at that time it's kindergarten, we go to the kindergarten, talk with the teacher, principal about something my child didn't get treated fairly. But then actually my kids got more bullied by the teacher. So it's kind of how you can fight with that. Yeah. So the only way, at that time, I think we need to send a huge gift. It's not small money, like a $100 card. It's like 1,100. Need to be that way. Then they will not bully your kids. It's like you send your kids to school, but you up and down all your heart.
You have to pay the teacher to be sure that your
child just to get normal treats. I don't need they give her extra attention or something. But if you didn't follow the rule, they think you don't respect them enough. So they're gonna punish your kids. So I think it's not right, because I still send them small gifts, like gifts for the cookie gifts, like a chocolate. That's kind of show respect, but I don't think corrupt you. Because in my mind, I still have in the mass times citizen about a teacher. At that time, when I'm young, the teacher are really kind of very clean, the one who a higher morality. So in my mind, I don't know the teacher changed to be that way already when my kids go to kindergarten. Then other parents remind of me. I don't believe it. But the kids come back then will say they got mistreated, and I will think, really? So I try to communicate to the teacher, say my kids say she got mistreated, this and that. And the teacher will show this, okay, we will do it. Then actually behind me, they hit my kid. They hit her. And they punish her, not allowed her go to washroom. This kind of so you can't imagine thing. And in the famous, so-called famous kindergarten in China, and they charge you a lot. So anyway, I just don't want to talk this story too much. I still feel hurt because I can't protect my own kid. But because it's popular. So when the mommy remind me, say you need to do the gift thing, I didn't do before, and my kids also not allowed. She go to washroom and she holds on it. When I pick her up and she cried to me, say she was not allowed to go to washroom. She needs to hold it. And she said, I felt my heart break, so I have to send lots of money to the to the teacher to get my kids fair treated. Then at that time I just think, oh, maybe you are just a housewife, just to have nothing to do and think a story about the teacher, because I can't believe it. So that when my kids met similar thing, I just think really, so try to go to negotiate or talk it clearly with the teacher, see how it's going on. And it turns out my kids got more worse treated, Like at the kindergarten, to her, it's a nightmare, and it's definitely hurt her personality or something. Make her afraid, make her think she is less. They will treat you like you are less, They will hit you, humiliate you in front of other kids, make other kids mocking at you. It's so easy for an adult to do that, especially an authority teacher. So then what my choice would be? Then when we finished the kindergarten, I think maybe primary school would be better. Then same thing happened. Then I bent down. I started to send a big gift to the teacher, and my kids treated very well. Then I feel disgusting. Then I transfer my kids to the international school. Then suddenly it's all relieved. Seems never have this pressure since then. Because you don't need to worry about your kids get mistreated because if you don't send a huge gift to the teacher. So this kind of thing make me feel all this education system is corrupted. Also the doctor. If you don't send the big money to the doctor before the surgery, the patients were not satisfied. They were worried. So I mean, how can you review yourself in this kind of a system? It's kind of, I just feel so sorry for my kids, I think, because my naiveness to review our worry about our kids to the teacher is just to think, oh, you worry about your kids? I make you more worry. Do you dare even show any worry about her? I don't dare. I choose retreat. I choose follow the rule. But just then, I think I still economically better, so I can send her to international school. But not every parent can do it. So they have to endure in the public school system. So they have to do this. One mommy I remembered, she told me, you see, actually I only earn 5,000 yuan a month. And I need to pay tax after that. Maybe I only have 3,000. I need to give all of this to the teacher. Because I can't bear my kids was always being thrown out his bag out of the classroom, and he need to go to pick it back. Yeah, and the teacher will throw away out again, humiliate him 3 times one day. So she just like a secretary or something. She said, I would rather I don't, eat or something. I don't want him suffer. So I don't know how to say, when you didn't experience this, you may say, yeah, let's go talk with the teacher. Let's review ourselves. Let's fight with it. If we have no choice, we have to fight. Who gonna fight? You can, adults can fight, but they were never at the kids' risk. It's break their heart. So then you see, we immigrate to Canada. Also, we never met this kind of issue anymore. We don't feel. At first, we would watch. Is that would be this way? Still same thing. We watch. We carefully. We don't believe it. We thought maybe the teacher here are the same. Then finally, we're relieved. Like we talk about this too. Like we feel, oh, don't need to worry. Yeah, your kids will not be treated badly because your parents didn't do anything or do anything. It's not related. So, but you see, you can't neglect like a small this thing. Even this small thing make me feel I'm more safer in Canada. Like in China, you see, the kids is so much related to our life, right? Like the mommy I said to you just now. She's so worried. She can't concentrate in her work. She said, my boss even say, where's your mind? But actually he said, my mind is always worrying about my son gonna be throw out away his bag in school. Got humiliated. It's so easy for the teacher find any fault of you and treat them badly. So, yeah, I don't say every teacher is this way. I still met good teacher, but it's more and more this way, and you can't imagine how what's the how to say potential the 100%. What's that? Portion.
I'm not sure.
Okay, just a 3%, 50%. What do you describe?
Proportion.
Proportion, yeah. The proportion is huger. Like more than half of the teachers this way because they already get used to.
So, what I'm puzzling with then, because I hear your stories about education and your frustrations and the pain you've suffered by it, why do you find you love Peterson's chapter? Because the reason why I'm asking you is because I feel like all I hear from you is hopelessness. So, what's the use of Peterson's chapter?
Yeah, because I still hope live that kind of life. I still hope people will fight for right and wrong. I still hope there is a society, there is right and wrong. There is a clear mind thinking, not foggy all the time. So when people feel this suffering, when they can't face it, they have to forgive it. Why? That's their survival skill. Otherwise, they can't. They need to face the pain inside of themselves, conflict. The way they think they should fight for the kids. Also, the vulnerability, think if they fight maybe cause worse for the kids. So how are they going to deal with it? They say, oh, everything should be not so clear. Don't judge so much. Just follow the majority. What they do, what I do. You know, yeah.
So, what I feel compelled to say is, I think it's not hopeless. I think, at least,
It may not.
At least, you're not going to get sent to jail for fighting over the plates.
Yeah.
At least a person can argue over the plates and argue that it's your right to say something about the plates. You know?
Yeah.
That it's not just your right, but it is right to show your feeling.
But I saw also, for example, in the family, if let's suppose it's a Chinese family, if the husband is fighting for the plates, say, why use this plates? And then the wife may be crying, say, I cooked for you all this 20 years, 40 years. And you just care about the plate.
Yeah.
And how do you think? Let's think. Compare the food I cooked for you for 40 years. And the plate. What is huge, what is little?
Yeah.
And you, because of the little thing, you got mad at me?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
And then the wife may angry, shout at you, say, I'm gonna quit.
Yeah.
Let's go divorce.
Yeah.
And all the wife may be so self-pity, say, oh, what kind of a man I'm married to.
Yeah.
Never grateful.
Yeah.
Like all of this, if the man still have the loving feeling for the woman, and the woman maybe even go extreme, say, I'm gonna suicide because my life is so miserable. I even have this kind of a husband.
Yeah.
Who never appreciate.
Yeah.
So what the husband gonna do? Fight still? Say you go suicide by yourself?
Sure.
I gonna use the big plates.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
actually, I understand what you're saying.
Try to make.
Yeah, no, it's reasonable what you're saying. I understand. So, I don't mean after 30 years. I mean very early in the relationship.
Yeah,
The
I think
couple
should be
establish
very early in the relationship.
the couple establish that it's important to share their feelings about things and not pretend to like something they don't like, or not to pretend. Just try and keep pretense out. Even like I'm just thinking, like, how can you push back against this great fog? You know, just build a little island of clarity. You know, in this place, at least, we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
And then if somebody sees, oh, that couple, they seem so real and even happy. What's their secret? And then maybe they learn a little bit, and maybe slowly it starts to build.
Yeah.
And people get a kind of larger community of clearness, so that eventually it can turn against this big cloud of fog and say, it's not right.
Yeah.
We all think it's not right.
Yes.
Then maybe that's the way to fight it.
Yeah, I think I agree, but I mean, I still like I say, like the people, the education of the people, or like the habits of the people, like they got used to not say things directly. Like seems it's not polite, it's not sophisticated. It's only for the kids or foreigner.
Yeah.
So they will not
Yeah,
in the beginning. They will not say it clearly, or just seems a plate, so small thing you're gonna fight with a plate. No, we will not do that. So this kind of thing, So I just think it's a habit. We'll not fight, and I feel pity. And I so much wanted, people can realize it, can live the way what Peterson said, because I think it's very necessary. I think until now, I'm learning this way.
It's my belief and hope. There's a educational academic, I think he's from Edmonton. He talks about the value of international relations, and he said, hopefully, if we do it the right way, we can heal each other of our exaggerations. And I told you earlier that I don't like Peterson's emphasis on clarity. So I feel he's exaggerating, He's too much. I agree with him, but too much. But let's change it a little bit now. And let's talk about China, Canada. I think maybe China can learn from, well, I'm going to claim Peterson as Canadian. Learn from this Canadian intellectual that maybe some clarity is needed on some things. And Canada can learn from China, maybe some unclarity is needed on some things. Like I notice sometimes how you can talk indirectly to me about something. And it's very gentle. It's very, feels kind. And also, even my own son has this indirect way, because his mother is an Asian. I think they kind of learn this style. It's a little bit foggier, but it's also, there's something very caring feeling about it too. And if we can build relations with each other, I mean, it happens person by person, family by family, so that we can remove some of these excesses, like too much fog in China.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
so.
too much clarity in Canada. Like in my family, when I grew up, they argued over these plates all the time.
Really?
It's a little hair in the wrong place or something. It was always an excuse to fight. Is too much clarity. Like just close your eyes a little bit and not notice everything.
I see.
That's my feeling. So
yeah, maybe just needed to be come to the middle.
yeah. That's my hope, actually.
But I still think essential thing I should think should be not in fog. Not everything in fog.
Yeah, I think the essential thing is tell the truth.
The essential thing, I mean the big thing, like the big issue, do matters about the two parties of a marriage or whatever. They should be make it clear what I want, what I like.
Well, what Peterson says over and over again is, do not lie. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell what you feel. Tell what you think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's better than hide your feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Distort yourself, also make others can see clearly.
Yeah, or maybe you hide your feeling, you're not distorting yourself, but you're also not living.
Yeah,
you're just hiding.
I think so. It's they already dead. I don't know where I read it. Say before they really passed away, they already dead.
Yeah, living dead, zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really love this paragraph. And it's gonna help me a lot. And I'm gonna reread it again.
Well, it's challenged me. It's forced me to say things I didn't want to say.
You go ahead.
I did. I mean in my own personal life, it's challenged me.
I see. So good.
Okay.
Good for today?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That's it for today. Come back and check out some of our other videos. Please put your comments below, hit like and subscribe with notifications if you wish to join in conversations with us on other topics.